Oh, there you are. Welcome. Welcome to the show. I'm here on time. I don't know. We had that spring forward thing go on. So I kind of got screwed up with time and such, but I'm here. It's 7 o'clock. According to everything that I know about time, it's 7 o'clock. So if you're here with me, welcome to the show. If you're not, well, you might miss me by an hour. Hopefully not. Yeah, it's Monday, March 11th. Couple weeks before I leave for vacation, which I'm counting down the days now as it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have a pretty interesting show today. I'm gonna do something a little different today on the show, so stay tuned for that if you care to watch, obviously. But yeah, I got a few things to talk about. A couple things in the news, and I'm gonna talk about a couple other things. A little bit of tech stuff, and do all that kind of stuff. First off, I want to talk about the. I don't know if you're an American watching or you're from somewhere else abroad in the world. You may not know Canadian news, but we had a bit of a mass deathing. I'm not sure what word I'm allowed to use on YouTube. What's up, Joe? The chat box? I don't know. I'm not sure what's up with the chat box either. There's a bit of a delay, I guess. I don't put a delay, which is funny. But yeah, there was this. Unaliving, we'll say, in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. We had 6 people were deathed the worst way possible. I guess they were stabbed, which is awful. A Sri Lankan family. Yeah, pretty bad when you see something like that happen in Canada. It represents like 10% of our population up here. I kid. We have a few more than that. But yeah, it's an awful story. I'll get into that later, a little bit, I should say, maybe about 5 minutes or so. We'll talk about that. Also, I'm going to talk about the Ukraine war. It seems that support is kind of waning on that. It's been waning for a little while, but now with Congress kind of holding up funds going to Ukraine, and there's been talks about if Trump gets back in as president, that he's not going to be giving any money to Ukraine. This might be kind of the end of that dispute. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. All I know is anytime there's a war, obviously nobody wants that to continue and carry on, but you also don't want it to end prematurely, and then a lot of concessions that maybe weren't supposed to happen are going to have to be given up. So yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll read an article by one of the clown networks, I'm sure. Also, we're going to talk about Nigeria. I guess there's a big problem in Nigeria with kidnapping. I don't know. I knew about Somalian pirates, maybe even Nigerian pirates. I don't know. But I didn't know kidnapping was as big a thing. But there's a story where like 300 students, kids, obviously just children, were kidnapped by a bunch of Nigerian, whatever you want to call them, goofs. So we'll talk about that. And I don't understand why there's nothing done about this kind of thing. We're worried about other countries getting into wars and stuff, but we're not worried about 300 kids being kidnapped by, whatever you'd call them. Again, gangs of bad people. We'll talk about that. Also, Elon Musk, if you know, he was part of the whole OpenAI, ChatGPT inception. Essentially, him and Sam Altman had worked together at one point. So now Elon has Grok. It's Grok. It's basically going to be I should say, it counters OpenAI's ChatGPT, and he's open sourcing it, which is cool. I mean, that was the original plan with OpenAI's ChatGPT. They were supposed to open source it, but it's closed source. You can't look at that kind of stuff. It was supposed to be, but now I guess that's Elon's way of righting a wrong. And much like he did with X, he's gonna make this a place where people can actually use this thing for the greater good, as opposed to just an absolute monetization piece. So we'll talk about that. Also, I like to do this every month, where I like to play a Clown World video. So Clown World, if you've watched the show, you'll know Clown World, or you might know it from outside the show. But if you've watched this show, I like to pick videos from this site on X called Clown World, where they just take videos from all over the internet And aptly named, they're basically just stupid people doing stupid things, or just, just idiotic things that pertain to culture, stuff like that. So I'm going to play a video from that. We're going to dissect it and laugh about it and that kind of stuff. And in the inaugural inception, I'm going to do a new segment that I call unleashing theory, unleashing critical, or unleashing what do you call it? Jeez, conspiracy theories. I'm losing my mind. Unleashing conspiracy theories, and I'm just gonna take an article, essentially an article that was written online by one of the networks, maybe, and read it, and we'll discuss that conspiracy theory, whether it be true or not true or whatever. Yeah, so we'll get into that. It's kind of a new thing I've been kind of piloting, looking to get into. So, if you like it, let me know in the comments. We'll do more in the future and that. I'm going to make it a recurring thing regardless whether you like it or not. But if you do like it, then maybe I'll make it more of a recurring thing. So as always, if you are watching the show, I see a few people are watching right now, make sure to obviously like, subscribe if you haven't already, share the show. It's every Monday at 7 o'clock, unless I say otherwise. I'm here. So, oh yeah, I should have said that. Yeah, I should have said spoiler alert. But, hey, whatever. Listen, I got to do everything on this thing, okay? I got to run this podcast. I got to host it. I got to try and be funny. I got to try and be engaging somehow. I got to talk to you, Joe. I got to be smart, obviously, because you're smart. But I got to, you keep me on my toes. And, I got to click all the buttons. Wish I had somebody here to click the buttons. I used to have Tyler to click the buttons, but, Tyler's got better things to do. But, yeah. So anyways, new little segment today. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get on this, Joe. I'm going to get on to the first segment, to the first story of the day here. Here we go. Okay, so sad news in Canada. If you're watching from Canada, then you'll probably know this story already, since it's pretty big here. 6 people were just destroyed, we'll say. They were unalived. I think it's about 3-4 days ago in Ottawa. So the capital of Canada, if you're not watching. This is a pretty disgusting story. This is from the CBC. That's our equivalent of your garbage news down in the States, such maybe a CNN or an NBC, that kind of thing. CBC is just, they're whatever. They're our propaganda arm, we'll say. So here it is. So 6 dead, including 4 children in Ottawa mass killing. 6 people, including a mother, her 4 young children, and a family acquaintance, were killed inside a townhouse in the South Ottawa suburb of Barrhaven late Wednesday night. During a media briefing Thursday afternoon, Ottawa Police Chief Eric Stubbs said there were initially 2 calls to 911 around 10:52 p.m. local time Wednesday. He said first responders arrived within minutes to the home on Berrigan Drive near Palomado Drive, a residential area close to 2 schools. Police have identified 5 of the victims as a family of newcomers to Canada from Sri Lanka. 35-year-old mother. These names are very hard to read, so I'm not going to bother. Doesn't matter anyway, realistically. So 35-year-old mother, and then a friend, and his name's huge. That's the 2 adults. Then there was a 7-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter, 3-year-old daughter, and a 2-month-old daughter. Disgusting. That's Police said Akenyaki's husband, that's the victim's husband, was injured and is currently in hospital in stable condition. He's since been identified as blah, blah, blah. Another man, 40-year-old, blah, 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 blah. Those don't even look like names to me, was also killed. So Fabio de Zoisa, 19, is charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Police said he's a Sri Lankan national who was believed to be in Canada as a student. On Thursday evening, Algonquin College President Claude Brûlé released a statement confirming de Zoisa was a student at the college and that it appears his last semester of attendance was winter 2023. So he's not even going to school. He made his first court appearance late Thursday afternoon. De Zoisa spoke little, stating his name and birthday before sitting down. He was ordered not to contact 5 people, one of whom is the victim that was stabbed and didn't die. De Zoysa's next court appearance is scheduled for March 14th. Police said De Zoysa is also an acquaintance of the family and was living in the same home at the time of the killings. He was arrested at the scene about 15 kilometers south of Ottawa's downtown core. Chief Stubbs said the family's youngest daughter was born in Canada and suggested the family members had arrived at different times. He said Ottawa police had never dealt with either the suspect or the family and had never been called to that address before Wednesday night. This is pretty disgusting all around when you think about it. Obviously, Canada would have a reputation worldwide of being a safe place to go, to live. If you're coming from Sri Lanka, I don't know Sri Lanka very well. I don't know really anything about it. But I'm guessing that if you're coming from Sri Lanka to Canada, you're coming for maybe a better life in a way of, being able to sustain yourself better, maybe safer, that kind of thing. And you come and you're a victim of this by none other than another Sri Lankan individual, which is so bizarre to me. There's no real reason yet as to why, like what the motive of this idiot was, but I'm sure it'll come out, eventually. But anytime you're going to kill kids, you got to be a disgusting individual. I'm not going to read any more of that article because honestly, it's just making me want to hurt myself. Oh, just anytime I hear about kids dying, especially a 2-month-old, like, come on, what was that? What was the point of that? What was the point of any of it, realistically? But when an adult kills an adult, okay. I mean, I don't agree with it, obviously, but at least you can. There's some reason. I'm guessing when you kill a kid, especially to kill a 2-month-old. What was the 2-month-old doing? Just crying, maybe? Is that what made you kill it? Disgusting stuff, especially in Canada. I'm very sad to read this or to say this whole thing, and I'm just disappointed that it came out of Canada. This is something you'd hope to hear out of somewhere else, especially for me. This is 4.5 hours away from me, so disgusting stuff. What do you got to say there? What'd you say? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? It's well, I mean, in the States, obviously, you've got 10 times the population almost that we have in Canada, and I mean, anytime it's a mass murder with a knife. I mean, if this were 6 adults, this wouldn't have gone down this way. No way. This coward killed 4 kids and a mother. I mean, he probably went after the guy first thing, attacked him and took the biggest threat out of the way, and then went after the mother, and then he went after the kids. Like, I don't know what you do with garbage like this. I think you put him in a room and then you allow people to do things to him. I can't really say things like too graphic on here because obviously it's inciting violence or anything like that, but disgusting stuff. Ugh. I wanted to get through this story first, to be honest, because I don't even like these stories, but I feel like I got to read it. Got to keep people up and apprised of these disgusting situations. Especially you, Joe. You're an American. You don't even know. You probably had no idea this even happened. All right, let me get on to the next thing here. Okay. So, yeah, there's still a war in Ukraine. You may have forgotten about it. I know it seems a lot of people have kind of just put it on the back burner. If you're any way related, like meaning like you're Ukrainian or you have friends in Ukraine or you're somehow attached through 6 degrees of separation, I'm sure that you are this is still in the forefront for you, but doesn't seem to be for Americans, the government, any of it. Doesn't seem like money's getting thrown over there very quickly. They're not really talking too much about it in the news, unless you dig down a couple levels in the online and some of the like CNN and stuff like that. I'm going to read this article. This is the BBC. This just talks about what Trump is going to do. Basically, I think they're kind of done giving money. I'll get into that a little bit, but I'm going to read this article first. This is, again, the BBC garbage article, but whatever. Trump will not give a penny to Ukraine, Hungary PM Orban says. Donald Trump will not fund Ukraine's fight against Russia's invasion. if he is elected U.S. president again. Hungarian PM Viktor Orban has said he will not give a penny in the Ukraine-Russian war. This is why the war will end. The conservative premier said after meeting Mr. Trump in Florida. The former U.S. president has pledged to end the war within 24 hours if elected, but provided no details. Mr. Orban is openly backing his long-term ally in the 2024 White House race. It is obvious that Ukraine cannot stand on its own feet, Mr. Orban told Hungary's M1 TV channel late on Sunday. If the Americans don't give money and weapons along with the Europeans, then the war is over. And if the Americans don't give money, the Europeans alone are unable to finance this war, and then the war is over. So he's saying all this because I don't know if you know this, but if you're privy to this, then you will know that Congress is kind of holding back. They've been stalling this bill to give money. They have another, I guess you'd call a stimulus package they're going to be sending to Ukraine for the war effort there. And they've just been kind of dragging their feet on it. Not what was happening at first. I think part of that's happening because obviously the year we're in, everything's politics this year. So, don't expect anything to be expedited too fast unless it's something that's really going to help, the current administration's goal of getting back in. He added that Mr. Trump had pretty detailed plans on how to end the Russian-Ukraine war, but did not elaborate. Mr. Trump has not publicly commented on Mr. Orban's TV interview. At their Friday meeting in Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago mansion, the former U.S. president praised his guest. There's nobody that's better, smarter, or a better leader than Viktor Orban. He's fantastic, he said. He's the best. He's the best leader ever. During his U.S. visit, Mr. Orban did not meet current U.S. President Joe Biden, who is expected to be Mr. Trump's main rival in the presidential elections in November. It is highly unusual for a visiting foreign leader to schedule talks with former counterparts without calling on the current leadership. That's funny. So it just kind of dawned on me, that last sentence before the second last sentence, I should say. During his U.S. visit, Mr. Orban did not meet current U.S. President Joe Biden, who is expected to be Mr. Trump's main rival in the presidential elections in November. I love how they say that. Doesn't that kind of put doubt in there a little bit? Is the BBC kind of saying the quiet part out loud a little bit? Do they know a little something like everyone else? We know that Trump's going to run for sure, but we don't know that the incumbent president is going to run. It's kind of funny to me. But anyways, so the Hungarian prime minister has repeatedly drawn strong criticism from fellow EU leaders for maintaining close ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin ever since he launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February in 2022. So we're over 2 years now. Unlike many Western nations, Mr. Orban refuses to send weapons to its neighbor Ukraine, stating repeatedly that Kiev is unable to win against a nuclear-armed Russia. Okay. This article goes on a little bit. That's enough of that. So, as I said, it's probably, let's be real. This war started out pretty, there was a lot of support for this war. Then we got a second one coming in with the Hamas-Israel conflict. And we're in an election year. I don't think we're going to see much more funding going that way towards Ukraine, which is, okay. Let me state, I don't really have a dog in the race on this one. It's your U.S. money. I'm Canadian, so whatever. You want to send your money over there? Fine. Have at her. But I don't necessarily think it should be done. It should have been done. I don't think we should be fighting proxy wars for other countries. But, humanitarian efforts, sure. Now, maybe the conflict should be settled. I don't know. Anytime something like this happens, you got to think, what's in it for the people helping? And, I think in this case, what's in it is, it's, I'll leave it up. It's, it's nefarious anyways. So. Oh, I know. I know Canadian dollars are going there, but we're sending like $10, so it's fine. We don't have any money here anyway. We're Canada. There's not much. Trudeau's probably he's probably printing a bunch to send over there. I know we send billions, but whatever. I don't know. We're all in the same boat at this point. I think the idea is to collapse the dollar all the way around. So they're just they know the ship's sinking. So just keep printing as much as they want and send it everywhere they want. As long as they get a piece out of it, that's the most important part. They get all their pieces of the money, all this printed money, and then they put it in legit stuff. And then when dollar go boom boom, well, they've got all the legit stuff. So it's just a good way to scam the system. All right, let's get on to the next thing here. Okay. Yeah. So, who knew about Nigerian kidnappers? I knew a bunch of Nigerian princes trying to give me money. I mean, I know they're really nice that way in emails, but I didn't know that they were stealing kids. To what end? I don't know. This is a problem. I'm going to read this article here. This is who is this? This is the Guardian. Yeah, I love the Guardian. One of the better ones. No, they're just as much a dumpster fire. Let's see what they have to say about this. So, search continues for hundreds of kidnapped Nigerian school children. Nigerian security forces continue to search forests and set up roadblocks in the northwest of the country on Sunday in an attempt to find hundreds of kidnapped school children. But observers said combining the woodland expanses could take weeks. Combing the woodland expanses could take weeks. More than 280 children aged between 7 and 18 were taken from a school in Kuriga, whatever, on Thursday in one of the biggest mass abductions in recent months in Nigeria's turbulent northwest. A further 15 children were taken in another raid on a school in Sokoto on Saturday. The two abductions were the latest in a series of group kidnappings by gunmen, where criminal gangs target schools, colleges, and highways as they hunt for large groups of victims to make ransom demands. More than 200 other people, mostly women and children displaced by conflict, were taken in a separate raid in the northeastern state Borno last week. No group has claimed responsibility for the school abductions. Militant jihadists waging an insurgency in the northeast were suspected of carrying out the kidnapping in Borno. Children who had escaped the kidnappers in Kuriga described their ordeal after being taken from their school in a quiet agrarian village about 60 miles outside the northwest city of Kaduna. At about 8 a.m. on Thursday, when the school's 1,000 students were about to settle into their classes, dozens of armed men in military uniforms rode on motorbikes into the school grounds. Abu Bakar, 18, a secondary school pupil, was among the children herded into the forest as they were beaten with horsewhips, but he managed to escape. We trekked for hours in the scorching heat until we were all exhausted. Abu Bakar told AFP. He said the kidnappers separated girls from boys. There were more girls than boys. That's scary to me because sometimes what happens over there is disgusting to the girls. Hopefully that's not the case here. Luwan Yaro, a villager whose 5 grandchildren were among those abducted, said his hopes were fading. He said people were used to the region's insecurity, but has never been in this manner. Obviously not. I haven't really heard a lot of stories about 300 kids being abducted and kidnapped and held for ransom. Who are you holding them for ransom on? I wouldn't think that Nigeria is all that rich of a country. What are they expecting people to pay? Are you feeding these kids? How long are you intending on holding them? This is a weird situation. It's kind of, pirates, I get it. These Somalian pirates and such, I get it. But taking kids for ransom, or if you're kidnapping and taking Americans and things like that, where there's money behind the family, even if there isn't money, it's more money than most Nigerians see. But this is a whole weird thing here. More than 3,500 people have been abducted across Nigeria in the last year, according to the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, cited by the Associated Press. The gangs are adapting their strategies and further entrenching themselves in the Northwest through extortion. James Barnett, a researcher on West Africa at the U.S.-based Hudson Institute, told the Associated Press. In April 2024, Boko Haram militants triggered an international outcry by kidnapping more than 250 schoolgirls from Chibok in Borno State. Some of those girls are still missing. Oh, God. Nigeria's armed forces are fighting on several fronts, including against armed criminals in the northwest and a long-running jihadist insurgency in the northeast that has killed 40,000 people and displaced more than 2 million since 2009. Wow. That's crazy. It's funny. How would you know that this is a problem? Would you expect that this was a problem in Nigeria, that people are getting kidnapped like crazy? And why? If we're so horny about jumping all over the world and policing everything, why aren't we sending some troops over there? I feel like we could send 100 good, well-trained U.S. troops over there to stop whatever 50 guys on bikes with a few guns from stealing kids. I don't know. This is it's just maddening to me, But I don't know. I guess there's no money or political gain to put anybody over there, so you probably won't see it. All right. Okay. That's it. That's it for the news. That's it. That's all I got for the news in the news. So I'm kind of doing, like I said, I'm going to do this a little bit different now in different segments sort of thing. I'm going to do news, a couple news things, usually 3. I'll do 3 news stories that I kind of pick and choose. I'll try and make them so they're not all political and such. And then I'm going to do something with tech. Then I'm going to try and do something funny. And then I'm going to do a conspiracy theory that is out there, we'll say. You know, one way or the other. Missed what? What'd you say? Missed that one because I was troubleshooting? You were troubleshooting? What were you troubleshooting? Joe, you got to be with... Listen, when you leave, Joe, I get scared. Yeah, so... Looks like you're getting a segment view. What? What are we talking about there? I don't know. I think I'm tired today or something. I'm having a hard time today. My brain is fried. I was trying to compose something earlier and it's just my brain was not working. But bear with me. Oh, your computer. Oh, okay. Oh, your computer's being a goof? My old computer used to be a goof, but yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Gizzo? Gizzo's here. Yeah, well, this one's going to be interesting, buddy. This conspiracy theory segment. It's going to be a little different. I actually have a little bit of an intro for it, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try and put a little work into this thing. Like, I don't know. I was phoning it in for a little while. I'm going to try and put a little work into the podcast. We'll see how things go. Try and build up my subscriber base over the next couple months. We'll see how it works. But okay, let me get into the next thing here. This is the Elon Musk story about Grok. Okay, so in tech news today, we got Elon is going to open source Grok this week. So this is in counter basically to OpenAI's ChatGPT, which, if you don't know, he was a part of with Sam Altman. He had a kind of a back end. I don't know how involved he was, but he was definitely involved somehow. But so he feels like the direction that they took with OpenAI's ChatGPT was wrong, and he feels like they're going on. Basically, they're trying to monetize that heavily, and they're keeping it closed source. So he's against that. So his way of doing that, just like he did with Twitter or X now, is he's going to do his own thing, and then he's gonna combat the other with his. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna read this article here. I'm trying not to read your guys' comments here because it's throwing me off a little. I'll read them after. Okay, this is TechCrunch.com. I don't really know these guys, so I can't say if these guys are reputable or not. But the article seemed okay, so I'll read it. So Elon Musk says XAI will open source Grok this week. Elon Musk's AI startup XAI will open source Grok, its chatbot rivaling ChatGPT this week. The entrepreneur said days after suing OpenAI and complaining that the Microsoft-backed startup had deviated from its open source roots. XAI released Grok last month, arming it with features including access to real-time information and views undeterred by politically correct norms. The service is available to customers paying for X's $16 monthly subscription. So, well, you are going to have to pay to get it, which is fine if it's something that is useful. I have no problem with that. It's funny because if you do use ChatGPT or have used ChatGPT, you do know that it does that. It kind of like it skews information and kind of takes that politically correct stance, I guess, on how it gives out information. So hopefully this doesn't do that. I'm guessing it won't. It's Elon Musk, so most likely it won't. Musk, who didn't elaborate on what all aspects of Grok he planned to open source, helped co-found OpenAI with Sam Altman nearly a decade ago as a counterweight to Google's dominance in artificial intelligence. But OpenAI, which was required to also make its technology freely available to the public, has become closed source and shifted focus to maximizing profits for Microsoft, Musk alleged in the lawsuit filed late last month. To this day, OpenAI's website continues to profess that its charter is to ensure that AGI benefits all of humanity. In reality, however, OpenAI has been transformed into a closed source, de facto subsidiary of the largest technology company in the world, Microsoft, Musk's lawsuit alleged. The lawsuit has ignited a debate among many technologists and investors about the merits of open source AI. The node Khosla whose firm is among the earliest backers of OpenAI, called Musk's legal action a massive distraction from the goals of getting AGI and its benefits. Mark Andreessen, co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, accusing Khosla of lobbying to ban open source research in AI. Every significant new technology that advances human well-being is greeted by a grinned-up moral panic, said Andreessen, whose firm A16Z has backed Mistral, whose chatbot is open source. This is just the latest. So, the promise to imminently open source Grok will help XAI join the list of a number of growing firms, including Meta and Mistral, that have published the codes to their chatbots to the public. Musk has long been a proponent of open source. Tesla, another firm he leads, has open sourced many of its patents. Tesla will not initiate patent lawsuits against anyone who, in good faith, wants to use our technology, Musk said in 2014. X, formerly known as Twitter, also open sourced some of its algorithms last year. He reaffirmed his criticism of Altman-led firm Monday, saying OpenAI is a lie. Okay, so, Musk has to be this guy. Musk is this guy. I'm glad he's doing this. We've talked about this before in the podcast. AI and AGI, it's very sketchy. It's a very new, scary place to be. But, to have some of these firms close source what they're doing with these chatbots and AI programs, I don't know, it just seems scary to me and could lead to, some of these like tech oligarchies that you kind of like you've seen in the movies and stuff. Like, one obviously would come to mind would be in Terminator, Skynet. But so it's nice to see that you've got a pioneer like Musk coming in there and saying, look, you know what, I don't really care about the money. I just care more about humanity and about, obviously he has the ego about it. He wants to be the guy, but he's going to open source this stuff for us and, make it available to everyone. So, hopefully it keeps everybody on kind of an even keel, but I guess we'll have to see. Okay. What do you got to say there? You know how you release the segments by individual video? I missed that last one, so I'll have to watch it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought you were gone because I saw the viewer drop. It's not like I have like 3,700 viewers up there and I don't notice. I've got like 4 or 5 viewers or something. It drops to 4 or drops to 3. Well, I know one of you left and you were saying nothing, so I figured you had gone, Joe, for something. Yeah, I agree with you, Gizzo. Yeah, AI chatbots trying to be funny is weird. There's a funny video I caught. It must be made up. I don't know how it would happen, but where somebody was talking to a GPS and they were telling him, he was asking where the nearest McDonald's was and it was telling him where the gym was and trying to take him to the gym. It's a pretty funny video. I guess it's gone viral. It has something like 10 million views on it. But that was kind of funny, I guess, in a way, just because maybe it was the first. But when you start seeing it all the time, it's just going to be dry, I think. Like, I don't know how an AI chatbot, it's going to be funny or engaging or, or roll off stuff, or it's going to understand sarcasm or tone or inflection or any of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's a weird space for me. People are getting AI girlfriends and such. So it's, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. Okay. Let me get on the next thing here. Okay. Okay, we all know I love Clown World. Clown World's like one of my favorite sites, I guess, on X. These guys just post videos and they post, memes and all kinds of stuff on there, just making fun of culture and stupid people and stupid situations and all that kind of stuff. So I like to pick from them every once in a while and play a video. And that's what I'm going to do today. So this is the video today. Let me play this and then we'll comment on this.
Are your granddaughters?
They are 6 and 8.
Would you support them to get hormone blockers to become the other gender?
I would absolutely support them to get hormone blockers. The idea of one of my granddaughters learning that they're going to start having their period if they don't get their hormones blocked, even though they're identifying and portraying as a male. How horrible that would be. So yes, definitely.
If your granddaughter came to you and wanted to get a tattoo, what would you say?
That would be more difficult. I always told my 3 sons the one thing I ask is please don't get tattoos.
Really? Why tattoos?
There's just something so permanent about it.
Permanent?
It's pretty permanent. It's very difficult to get them lasered off or removed.
You don't think it's like permanent to change your gender? How old?
What a knob. Like, seriously, what a knob. Of course, pick on a stupid old woman. But yeah, that's what she is. Obviously, she's a stupid old woman. But she, unfortunately, represents a very large, or I shouldn't say large, a very loud minority of people that think this way. Just dumb people. And where you can say something and you can say something they'll agree with, like the first point about the puberty blockers, and then come up with something that is, a little less, less of a problem, I would say. Like, to get a tattoo, so what? You get a tattoo. I know so many people with bad tattoos and they regret them, then they get them covered, or I know people that have had them removed. But then say that to her and she's like, oh no, not tattoos, they're too permanent. Puberty blockers, no problem at all. Yeah, that's not permanent at all. You're not going to damage anybody by blocking their puberty. It's like, anyways, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this kind of stuff. You watch it, and you go, this can't be real. We got to be living in clown world, and maybe we are. There was a video on Tim Pool, or there's a clip of a Tim Pool broadcast where he had some leftist guy. I can't remember the guy's name. I typically like to stay away from the leftist guys, but he had him on and he asked him about abortion. They were talking about abortion and such, and then Tim Pool just mic drop asked him about a mother taking drugs, like taking meth, and he was like, and Buddy was like, no, he disagrees with that, and he's like, and his reasoning was that it would hurt the baby. So you can't make this up. And he knew the minute he said it. He knew. Like, you should look this clip. It's a great clip. But it's just the way Tim Pool does it too. It's like he knew exactly. He was just setting him up. It's like watching a bear fight a cat. Like, it was ridiculous. It wasn't even a fair fight. But yeah. Anyways, that's the world we live in. Unfortunately, we live in a clown world where these clown people will say clown things, and they do it with a straight face, and they think they're virtuous saying this kind of shit, but they're just too stupid to understand what they're actually saying. All right. Okay. So now, drum roll. My last segment, the one that I've kind of prepared a little. About time. It's about that time. Let me just, I gotta get this all kind of set up here. Let me get out of the browser for a minute. I gotta collect my thoughts, boys. This is new. This is new. I have to figure out. I gotta put the intro on. Then I've gotta, get ready with what I'm gonna say. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I gotta hit record to record the segment. There's a lot of stuff going on here. If I screw it up, I got one chance at this, guys. One chance. If I fuck it up, well, there's 3 of you to watch, and then I could just get rid of the video. But I'm not going to. I don't even care. There's a lot of dumpster fire of me on the internet. I don't really care. Okay, so here we go. Let me get this started here. I'll get the clip going, if you will. Okay, so if you've been watching this podcast for a little while, then you'll know that I do mostly segments on the news and technology, stuff like that. I like to throw in some esoterical stuff and conspiracy theories and such. So this is a new segment that I'm going to be calling Unleashing Conspiracy Theories. And here's my new little intro. As you can see, same music as my regular intro, but yeah, I'm going to read an article by a news organization, perhaps, and yeah, you can ascertain whether this is a real conspiracy, it's a theory made up. Who knows? You make up your mind for yourself, but it's out there. So let me get right on this. Reading this here. Let me pop up. Okay, so this is a CNN article. It's titled "Alien Underwater Mining Causes Earthquakes and Volcanic Eruptions," claims an unnamed pseudoscientist. So, our oceans are full of valuable deposits of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and apparently this fact is not lost to our cosmic neighbors. An unnamed scientist has reported inconclusive evidence, absent findings, stating there is a possibility, albeit a very low one, that aliens are conducting deep-sea mining expeditions of our oceans and potentially causing massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. In a recent 2-hour deep dive of online content, Dr. Chad Harrison of the Department of Oceanic Viewership and Sea Watching stated after watching several videos and conducting his own extensive 20 minutes of research, he has concluded that there is at least a 0.001% chance that this is actually happening, and humanity should prepare for a galactic battle with the offending species. As our recent pandemic taught us, 0.001% is no joke, and we should alter every aspect of our everyday lives and livelihoods to account for this. Dr. Harrison states that seismic readings taken at known mining sites prove his claims absent of any actual evidence. These readings were taken using hypothetical modeling software and not actually conducted in reality. If we're to stop this invasion by these alien races looking to steal our precious minerals, we need to look to people like Bill Gates to assist with this, states Dr. Harrison. Even without any evidence to support anything I'm claiming, we should do everything in our power to stop this invasion, even as far as deploying our Space Force. So Dr. Harrison has also committed to at least another hour of research and plans on conducting his own underwater testing at a nearby beach this summer. He intends on starting a GoFundMe to raise funds for his research and is composing a well-thought-out letter to send to the Gates Foundation to seek a partnership as well as grant money to conduct the research. So this was a CNN article. Obviously, we love the CNN articles. But is it real? I don't know if it's real or not. Aliens getting underwater and stealing all our gold and resources and minerals and such. This is some weird, wild stuff, people. I think what you should do is you should push this and share it, because if this is real, which I don't see how it couldn't be. This CNN article looks very legit to me. This is some scary stuff, and we could all be in a lot of trouble. D+. Oh, womp womp. That sucks, Gizzo. Well, it's my first attempt, bud. I may or may not have written that in 10 minutes earlier today. But listen, it could be a real thing. Who knows? We don't know. We see those ships diving into the water. What are they doing? They could be going down there for some gold and some minerals and different shit. Could be causing earthquakes. I think this is a pretty smart conspiracy theory, buddy. That's how they all start. They all start from an idea. So, but, I guess D+ is D+ a pass? I guess it's a pass, right? It's barely a pass. I don't know. At least you didn't give it a fail. Weak sauce? Everybody's a critic. Well, listen, if you were a little higher, you might like it. Joe is not saying anything. So, what'd you say? The plot of Cowboys versus Aliens. Is it? I've never actually seen that, so I don't know. But, or maybe I have seen it and I stole it. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyways, listen, you can't all be fans of everything. So, better than a D. Listen, it's better than a big D. You're giving me a D-. Yeah. Well, yeah. D+ is better than a D-, I guess. Well, that's probably why then, Gizzo. Maybe you're too high. Maybe you just didn't understand the words. Maybe it all came out like real jumbled up. All right. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got today. We're at the end of the podcast. Yeah, you should be scared, Joe. This is scary stuff, bud. You wait till you see what next week's is all about. You're going to be real afraid. You're real scared. But yeah, thanks for watching, all few of you that are watching. I think it got as high as 5. I think I saw 5 viewers at one point. So 5 of you viewed, 2 of you talked. Well, no, I did not. Mute you? I did not mute you. Yeah, so thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for your non-constructive criticism, Gizzo. Oh, you muted Joe. That's not nice, Gizzo. Why would you mute him? Listen, if you have a conspiracy theory that you know of, if you have an idea that maybe isn't out there, feel free to put it in the comments on this video. or on the actual segment of the conspiracy theory, and I'll take a look. Maybe I'll find something. Maybe I'll compile something. Maybe there's something out there. You never know. Maybe CNN has another article. Maybe Fox News. Maybe CNBC. Or MSNBC. I mean, maybe one of them has something. So, but if you do like the channel, if you do like the segments, do hit the like, do share. That kind of stuff all helps the channel. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're watching and you're a barnacle and you're just freeloading on the site and you're not subscribed, well, that's not nice. Subscribe doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe. Wait till I start asking for money. Gotta buy new hats and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see at least one of you. Joe, I'm not sure about you, Gizzo. I'm always happy to see you, but you're in and out. So I'll see at least one of you next week. The rest of you that are catching this, thanks for watching. Check out all the segments from Tuesday through Sunday, 5 o'clock every day. Obviously, like and share those. Anything you can to help the channel. Okay? Again, thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.